Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Field Mcconnell in the house, everybody. So please, if you have a question for Field, feel free to raise your hand. And at some point, I will unmute your mic in this podcast and you can ask your question to Field. Or if you can't speak, there is a picture of Field's books on the wall with he and his wife Denise on the first book. So please write your questions under there and I will read them to him at some point in this podcast. Also, to everybody, please be careful who you listen to, who you follow, what you're putting in your mind. A lot of craziness going on out there, a lot of positivity. Hang on to that. There's a lot of confusion going on, and we were told we were going to be confused in the end. So I'm seeing a lot of misinformation and disinformation going on out there. So please, everybody, be careful who you listen to and who you follow. Also, too, if you come into the podcast late, or you want to share it with somebody, family and friends, you can follow the podcast on the podcast hosts, which are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, PocketCast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. The social medias are Jenny Dreed Facebook at Jenny_Dreed X, at JDreed Rumble, at JDreed True Social, at JDreed Instagram, the Revival of America right here on Telegram, and then the Revival of America over on YouTube. Also, too, if you guys have a story or a journey you would like to tell, please reach out to me at the Revival. Oh, no, excuse me, at TROA submissions at yahoo.com. Make sure it's a legitimate story because we do vet them. Once we vet them and we believe it's a real story, because unfortunately, guys, we do get those shysters that just want to get on a podcast. So they give us some BS story. We will reach out to you and schedule something to get you on the show. Because remember, everybody, it's your voices, your stories that are going to help shape this new world that we are coming into. If you want to just email me a question, or if you're trying to get in touch with me regarding Field's books, because he does have his books for sale, or if you are looking for Rick Anson from Brain IQ, John Baxter, email me again at the Revival of America at yahoo.com, and I will take your question and direct you to the right individual that you might be trying to get in touch with. If you want to purchase Field's books, you can email me, and the payments are through Zelle or Venmo. So just know that, everybody, and I will put that information on the wall as well. And last but not least, go check out the website at therevivalofamerica.com, and you can get the latest updates on the podcast. So sign up for the newsletter as well over there, and we do put all of the podcasts over there. So if you miss it here, you can go over there or any of the other social medias and you can listen to it over there. So with that, everybody, I'm not going to take much time because I know Field gives us about 90 minutes of his time. So I'd like to welcome Field. How are you, Field?
I'm fine, and I found the blue button, and now it turned green.
Well, guess what? We can hear you, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to clean up my act, but it's a lot. It would be more difficult than cleaning up my bedroom, which, when you live by yourself for 5 years and you're a geriatric, you don't get too excited about cleanliness. It's much easier just to shut the door as you exit, and get out into the clean part of the house. But anyway, how are you doing, Jenny? I haven't talked to you since the last time we spoke, and I hope you're well.
I am doing great. A lot of stuff happening out there. There's a lot of confusion happening, everybody. I will say this. I am noticing this is the part where, remember, we've been told toward near the end, we're going to have a lot of confusion going on. There's a lot of black pilling going on out there, everybody. And I'm going to tell you, it could be somebody you've been following for a while. And if you're feeling like it's not going in the right direction that you've seen them go before, bounce out of that chat, that live, whatever it may be, because I'm telling you, a lot of people are starting to get confused. A lot of these people, their narratives just stay in that same circle, right? And they're bashing Trump, saying that the MAGA movement is dead and this, that, and the other. I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, what we've got going on there. However, I do believe, everybody, through the course of a lot of this stuff, there's a reason for everything, right? Trump's always 1,000 steps ahead of these people. So, and a lot of these people are being made as useful idiots, right? A lot of them are compromised, but Trump is using them for kind of, because they're compromised, right? So you're either gonna help us out and take these people down, or you're gonna see your fate now, right? So either help out, leave a legacy, or see your fate now and not leave a legacy. So I think we're seeing a lot of that coming to fruition. And people just need to dig deeper than the surface stuff when it comes to people like, we saw this happen with Ron DeSantis. We've seen it happen with many people. We're seeing it with Marjorie Taylor Greene now. So, I mean, are they working together to kind of to confuse us like they did with Elon Musk? Is he bringing her to the forefront to shine the light on her like he does with many people, like with DeSantis, because they are compromised? And you got to look deeper into these people's past, because when you do that, you'll see that they've been a part of some nefarious things. So don't just take the surface stuff. And that's what a lot of people are doing out there. They're trying to divide the movement. They're just taking the surface stuff and shit that we've already researched, right? So they're like years behind us. But be careful, everybody, because I'm seeing a lot of that go on right now. What are your thoughts on that, Field?
Well, I think towards the end, everything will be made manifest and the truth is coming. And I'm going to make a bold statement right now, and I hope it doesn't offend anyone, but I'm going to claim credit for taking out the UK Prime Minister, whose name is Keir Starmer. I have a hard time with that name, but I won't have to say it much anymore. And it's not JENNI participating in the takedown of the UK Prime Minister, whatever his name is. He's guilty of some stuff that's unforgivable.
Is it
If you
Tony Blair?
consider the
Is that who it was,
no,
Tony?
I'd like to. He's a has-been, and his nickname in Intel communities is Tony B. Liar. No, the guy that I'm going to help take down is Keir Starmer. Do you even
Okay.
recognize that? Do you know what he's guilty of?
I do not share that with us.
He covered up 500 underage rapes performed or executed or done by Jimmy Savile. And his position during Jimmy Savile's run and crimes, he was the director of the CPS, which I didn't know what that stood for. So I researched it and I found out that it stands for Crown Prosecution Service. Keir Starmer, the guy that's currently the UK Prime Minister, he covered up Jimmy Savile's 500 underage rapes. And if anybody throws up during the next statement, I would recommend you turn so you're not facing a peer. But this Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister temporarily, covered up the necrophilia that was performed over a 40-year span by Jimmy Savile. And see, on the surface, people think Jimmy Savile was a comedian, and he had a show over in the UK called Jim Will Fix It. Well, actually, Keir Starmer fixed it. He covered up the 500 underage rapes and the necrophilia performed during a 40-year reign of terror. And so Jimmy Savile is not a national hero or even a comedian. He's a sick individual that should have been prosecuted before he died. I think he died in 2009. Good riddance.
Yeah, he's
But
burning in
I
hell,
think,
huh?
yeah, he should be. I mean, 500 underage rapes, and he wasn't overly picky, girls and boys, as long as they were young. or dead people, as long as they were old. Uh, he's a horrid person, and I'm thinking of starting a website. In fact, it'll be my name at maybe uk.com. I'm not sure what I'm going to title it yet. I'm going to be working with a very few trusted people, but this is not to indicate that I'm going to, abandon Jenny. No, I'm going to 100 countries only because of Jenny. So I will never leave her, nor whatever else the rest of that Bible quote is. Oh, nor forsake you. Uh, but anyway, what would you like to talk about today, Jenny? Or is there any chance we could go as rapidly as possible into Q&A? Because to me, that's the most stimulating. And it also challenges me to either demonstrate I know something or I'm willing to learn something. Over to you, Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. So for everybody here that has questions for Field, please feel free to raise your hand. And your questions can range from anything, everybody. But I think the biggest thing we need to take note of is how things are starting to transpire out there. Field, I don't know if you're paying attention a lot, but there's just a lot of this black pilling going on out there. Like we were told, it's going to get really confusing. Trying to separate the MAGA movement, saying it's dead, and just a lot of negative stuff. What can you maybe say to the people about that? We'll touch on that, and then everybody start raising your hands. I will unmute your mic, and you can ask Field your question, or if you can't speak, write it underneath his copy of his books on the wall, and we will. I will read those to him as well. So go ahead, Field.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I think of the MAGA movement being split or gutted. Right now, in my home office, where I'm relaxing with a cup of coffee with local honey in it for my voice, so my voice can be heard. Right now, in my office, I've got 3 MAGA hats on display, and I can see all of them from my chair. And this is an easy question. I think you may get it, or some guest will get it, or I'll answer the question. But there's 3 MAGA hats in my office right now. Would you want to guess what color they are? There are 3 different colors. What color do you think Trump would have on his hats?
Red, white, and then a black one, maybe.
Blue. But of course, there's all sorts of different MAGA hats. But the fact that I've got 3 of them in my office demonstrates that I respect Donald Trump. I also respect that as commander-in-chief, he's got a whole lot of military white hats that have been vetted, and they're being used to take care of business in favor of the republic the constitutional republic of the United States of America. And I'm so happy to be alive at this time. And it makes me almost giddy to know that every Monday I get to speak to 100 nations from around the world. And the term globalist isn't necessarily a good compliment or a good term, but my interest in saving people, and I don't mean spiritually, I like to do that too, but saving them from danger, that is what I've been called to do. And I know who called me, and I answered the call the first time I heard it clearly. So, and I don't want to dwell on me, but I do have a website coming because I think that there's still a lot of former listeners to Abel Danger that would like to be fed, and they can get fed right here on Mondays with Jenny's show. But if they want to have another source, all of Jenny's shows, unless she tells me I can't do it. But once she sees the website, uh, and it's once again, it's my first name and my last name, Field Mcconnell, and I think it'll be at a web hosting service that can handle .uk, because UK is England, and the book I'm writing right now is about my wife who died coming up on 5 years ago next month. And she was from England, and she and I together started the Children's Crusade. And if there's one thing that I've seen very little resistance to, I've seen very little, if any, resistance to the Children's Crusade. And when it's ready to be rolled out again, the first place and perhaps the only place to hear about the time and date of the rollout of the Children's Crusade will be right here on Jenny JERREAD and her podcast. So I owe you a great debt of respect, Jenny. Thank you for allowing me to speak on your platform.
Oh, of course, Field. I mean, you have a voice, and your message is very important to get out there. And I'm happy to help facilitate that any way I can. So, absolutely, the honor is mine, and I know the honor is for many people that listen to you, that are able to listen to you, right? Because I know when you were gone for that period of time, a lot of people were looking for you. So, I get a lot of messages from people saying that they're very happy that they have found you. So, thank you for being on here every week. We all appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you also. And here's one reason I appreciate you that you couldn't anticipate. But when you speak disparagingly, I'm not good with college boy words, disparagingly about Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, we're on the same page there. Not only the Governor DeSantis of Florida, but Governor Tony Evers of Wisconsin. I don't appreciate their lack of respect for the laws of the United States of America. And they're going to know it because in the opening forward, if you will, of the book I'm writing to honor my wife, Denise, I'm going to accuse them of violating not only my constitutional rights, but violating due process. Um, these people thought they could shut me up. Well, they haven't shut me up yet. And they had me detained or incarcerated for 16 months, which affected my health, but it did not affect my mental clarity or my healthy mind. And when I say healthy mind, there's no confusion in my mind. Child abuse will not be tolerated. And at what price is somebody going to pay? Well, just refer to how many executions are taking place daily at Guantanamo Bay, and you can probably anticipate uh, how many of those people might be former child traffickers. And I exposed those a long time ago. And it's not about me. You know, there really is no me. I've got an unusual name, so a lot of people forget me because they can't remember what my first name is. It's Field, Field. And I'm so happy that my parents named me Field. And I knew before they died that they were thinking if this pregnancy that turned into me yielded a boy, they were going to name the boy either Matthew, Mark, or Field. Well, that sort of was a secret that I didn't know the answer to until long after my parents died. But the reason they named me Field, I figured it out from the clues: Matthew, Mark, or Field. okay, first and second Gospels in the new, whatever that's called, the second half of the Bible. And then I found by Googling Matthew and Field, I found Matthew 13:38, where it says, the field is the world. And then it talks about good people and bad people. And, you know, I'm eternally thankful to my parents for naming me Field, because like me or dislike me, very few people forget me, even if they can only say that guy with a funny first name. That's good enough for me. You know, I'm not a one-man wrecking crew, but I work with some people that are one-person wrecking crews. And, you know, and one of the people that has benefited from my exposures, and that comes right out of Ephesians 5:11, have nothing to do with the evil deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Um, and that's what I do. And I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm going to continue to get more lethal. And I'm going to, well, I put a memorial, like a grave marker, except for it's flat. It's in the dirt in my front yard. And because I respect my wife Denise so much, I wanted to sense her presence, even though she's gone, and she was cremated at her request. Well, I'm sort of soft-hearted, you know, and I thought if Denise looks down and sees a cold marble slab in my front yard, she might misinterpret my respect for her. So I bought myself a matching slab. They're beautiful marble slabs. And the only difference between mine and hers is she has a couple of figures on hers. One is a butterfly, and one is a single stem flower. And on mine, I've got a Christian cross and the United States Marine Corps symbol. And, you know, I was very fortunate to be a Marine for 6 years. And, you know, there's probably a listener right now down in the southeastern US named Patty, who knows that her 92-year-old father is still a Marine, even if he doesn't wear his uniform every day and get really close haircuts. Well, you can't take the Marine out of a Marine. You can get Marines to leave the Marine Corps either at the end of a 30-year career or when they leave due to some other impetus. And anyway, I left the Marine Corps voluntarily because I lost some respect for people that were administering some of the tenets, TENETS, of the Marine Corps leadership. So that's enough about me. But I'd like to welcome any new listeners to Jenny's platform that have a pedigree of coming from Abel Danger, because Abel Danger was, you know, a perfect name for what it is that I've been doing since David Hawkins selected that name, referring to Cain and Abel. And the show goes on, and the show goes on to a large degree for me because Jenny allows me to be on her platform. So thank you, Jenny, and over to you.
Oh, of course, Field. I'm glad to help facilitate it. You have a voice to be reckoned with, and I know a lot of people, a lot of my audience have been curious where you went, so they're really glad to have found you. So real quickly, everybody, if you guys have questions for Field, please start raising your hand, and then I will unmute your mic. Otherwise, write it underneath his picture of he and Denise on the wall, and then I will read it to him at some point. But real quickly, Field, what are your thoughts about you know, a lot of this black peeling going on right now, and it's pretty thick. I'm not surprised. I just tell the audience, stay out of it. We knew this was coming, but we have a lot of misinformation. I mean, we've always had it being put out there, but it's becoming more thick. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they can't stop the train. It's going downhill, and the rails have been oiled, and Donald Trump is driving the locomotive, and he's got his hand on the throttle, and he's also got loyal white hats from the military branches that stand behind him and support him, and it's an overwhelming force. And Trump will not be denied by the lightweights that don't even know who he really is. And when I say who he really is, he really is Donald Trump. But a lot of people still don't know who his biological father was. And some people are just slow learners. And I'm living in Wisconsin, where public schools are falling into disfavor. And it's sort of interesting because the governor of Wisconsin is a Democrat that's not running for reelection, just like Nancy Pelosi is not running for reelection. And if Chuck Schumer could think clearly, he'd announce that he was not running for reelection, because being elected to a 4 or 6 year term gets cut short if they get a one-way ticket to Guantanamo, which traitors, and I just named 3 of them, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and, well, actually I named a traitor over in England, Keir Starmer. And some people say, oh, Field ought to shut his mouth. He's going to get in trouble. I've been in trouble, and I slipped through a crack. And someday when I'm free to do so, I'll announce who it was that got me out of trouble that I got myself into by exposing evil. And, you know, I might have been in trouble within the United States, but I'm not in trouble at all in the community of Bible believers. Some people actually think I've done a good service to help reduce child trafficking. And when I say reduce, I mean globally. And that's a lesson and a little tip of the hat to people from the 100 nations that listen to Jenny's platform. I'm not one of those Americans who thinks America's the only way to go. No, I think God's the only way to go. Over to you, Jenny.
Amen. Thank you for that. And everybody stay out of the noise. That's what I call it, noise. It's all surface stuff. A lot of these people don't get past the surface stuff, right? They continue to talk about the same stuff over and over and over. So when you hear that the MAGA movement is divided and it's losing its strength, that's bullshit. So stay out of the noise, everybody. All right, Miss Teresa, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Teresa. Your mic is unmuted. Teresa, did you want to ask Field a question? Your mic is unmuted. You requested a mic. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Now am I unmuted?
Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to ask Field, who is the squirrel in the transformer, the square wheel, the whatever that is keeping Trump from being able to get Tina Peters to a federal prison so she won't have health issues that cause her demise before she's able to give her testimony? Because, yeah, that's my question.
Okay, I got every part of your question except what the question is. Are you, oh, wait a minute. I think I just recalled. Are you asking me what is
Who is the person
preventing
that's,
Trump?
who is the person? Yes.
Hang on a
Who
second,
or
Tina
what?
Peters. Okay, let's one of us talk at a time. Jenny, over to you.
No, go ahead and say what you're trying to say. Hang on, Teresa. Let Field kind of reiterate that so he can make sure he's understanding what you're saying properly. Go ahead, Field.
Okay, was her question is what's preventing Trump from exposing more stuff? I'm not really clear on what her question was.
She's talking about Tina Peters. So go ahead, Teresa, reiterate your question. Go ahead.
Who is the person that is keeping Trump from being able to get her out of that Colorado state prison and at least into a federal prison where she'll have adequate medical care? She's got a horrible lung condition and there's black mold where she's being held. And if she dies in prison, I don't want the negative political consequences for Trump to be there from that. And who is keeping, because he's asked several times to get her out. Who's keeping that from happening?
I believe that's at the
Somebody-
local level. Go ahead, Field.
Yeah, it's somebody in Colorado, and whoever in Colorado is knowingly mistreating Tina Peters, who's a Gold Star mom, they better change their course swiftly, or if she were to die, which I hope and pray. In fact, I could pray right now, but I'll forgive or I'll forget that idea. I would say that whoever is continuing to penalize Tina Peters better change their act, or Donald Trump isn't going to wait forever. He'll do what it takes to get her into federal jurisdiction, because that way he can ensure that she has the best medical care available. And speaking of that, Donald Trump has already announced that med beds are going to be available very, very soon. And what's very, very soon? Well, I think they're going to start giving appointments to people like me as a veteran and children who have critical medical needs, and then everybody else in America. The med beds are coming. The technology has been known since the 1930s. And a couple of politicians, one named Rockefeller and one named, I'm trying to think of the other name. And it's
Rothschilds.
Okay, what was the second name?
Rothschilds?
No, it's an American. And it's an American capitalist and corporate head. But I'll find it again. I read a lot, and it's too bad that the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and the governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers, it's too bad they don't read the laws, because they violate them, and they're going to pay for violating the laws when it comes to the treatment of an American white hat. And I think there's a change coming, and it'll be a change for the better, because Donald Trump ran on a platform that talked about draining the swamp. Well, that didn't stop the rain from falling down, so now he's got to clean up some of the puddles of people that are very slow learners. And so at the end of this show, if anybody wants a prayer that they can probably participate in, I will lead it. And what I will pray for is I will pray for Donald Trump finding a way to get Tina Peters into a federal facility, so then she can get the best care available, including med beds. And she already lost her son to a war. And I think that's all that can be asked of that lady. I don't think she should have to die to prove she's an American. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. Teresa, did that answer your question? And I think Field, I think Trump will step in with that. You're seeing him post a lot to free her. So did that answer your question, Teresa?
Yes, very much so. Just so Phil has clarified that her son was into saving children from child trafficking. That's why his chute didn't open
Oh,
Thank you.
now I'm going to publish that. I didn't know his chute didn't open, but this is funny. This
He
is
wa-
why I like to go to Q&A, because I learn more than I teach. And when I learn something, I learn it well. And many of the listeners at Jenny's show may have forgotten that during that hurricane down in New Orleans several years ago, there was a U-2 aircraft operating in the Gulf of Mexico. And the U-2, the typical U-2, that means one seat instead of two. There's only one person, and of course it has to be a pilot, in the U-2. And isn't it strange that shortly after that hurricane down at New Orleans basin, he died in a U-2 ejection because his chute didn't open. Gee, this is starting to sound like a rerun of the Clinton Foundation. But if they're going to be killing patriots by disabling their ejection safety, by disabling their parachute, they're going to be writing their own history, and their history is going to be short because not everybody in the military is asleep. There's some great minds in the military, and they're not regarded by people that are not familiar with the military as being as bright as they are. And that's why some people, for instance, the Clinton Foundation, they use the same tactics over and over and over again. And they painted themselves right into a corner that they can never get out of. And because I'm dedicated to the White Hat group and their chief executive, which is Donald John Trump, I can do what I can do to make sure the Clinton Foundation principles don't have much of a free future left. And I'm not sure if they're both detained already, but we'll find out soon. Donald Trump is not somebody to mess with. And first of all, no U.S. president should be made, his job should not be, or her, if there is a female president, her job should not be made more difficult because some people that are career criminals intend to harm them. Well, I think they intended to harm me when I was falsely arrested. And what I mean is the governor of Florida and the governor of Wisconsin at the time violated my rights, and they thought that they would get away with it. Well, they didn't get away with it, and they detained me and kept me away from my wife, Denise. And that's why I've got 2 marble slabs in my front yard. I couldn't stand the thought of Denise looking down from heaven and seeing a cold slab in the ground with her name on it if I wasn't there to be her husband and protector. And so I got my own slab, and now, and Wisconsin has some interesting laws. And one of them is if you have a human body that's a relative or somebody that you respect buried on your land, there's certain things that will never happen. The property cannot be sold to the highest bidder. It has to stay in the family. And that's one of the reasons why I have 2 slabs in my front yard. It makes it more difficult for somebody that wants to buy this very desirable piece of property. It's 100 acres of prime hunting ground in west central Wisconsin, just 2 miles north of the village called Plum City. And as recently as 10 days ago, I had a real estate person and a hunting land lease specialist try to get me to give him permission to allow veterans to come hunt on my land. It's my land, so if I want veterans to come hunt on my land, I can arrange it. I don't need a leasing agent. There's a lot of things we don't need in America, but there's a lot of people that need to think they're big shots, and they come up with novel ways to ingratiate themselves. But my land is my land, and because there's 2 monuments in my front yard, I think my land is going to be in my family. And speaking of family, I just had my 10th grandchild about a month ago. And I can run my land. And when I get feeble-minded, if that happens, and it should, based on probabilities, but then my power of attorney has already been established. It's my 31-year-old daughter, and she and her husband, and he's a Serbian, they're going to own this property. It'll just go directly from me to my daughter and her family, and that will happen at the point of my dying, or the point at which two attorneys or a doctor or a psychiatrist, if some legal combination of Justice Department type people decide that I can't adequately conduct my business dealings, well, then the ownership of my property goes directly to my daughter, who's 31 years old, and it's called a transfer on death. And see, that's sort of a misleading title, because you don't have to die to transfer your property. If you no longer can make good decisions for your own property, then the power of attorney steps in and protects your property and your land. And it's 100 acres here. And hunting season starts, today is Monday. I think it's this coming Saturday. So Plum City is going to swell in population temporarily because of 2 weeks roughly that hunting season exists. And a lot of people come to Plum City because of the good hunting that's available a short distance out of Plum City. And I live 2 miles north of Plum City, and I'm being overrun by deer and wild turkeys this year, and I'm enjoying it. It's a sanctuary for nature. And my wife Denise really enjoyed this sanctuary, and now she's up in heaven waiting for me to show up.
Thank you, Phil.
Over to you, Jenny. Yeah, thank you.
All right, we've got some questions here. Okay, let's see. I've got one right here on the board. I'm gonna read to you real quickly. And everybody, regarding Tina Peters, pray for her. She's not going, she's going through it right now. So she's not in the best living conditions, and I think she's starting to fall back on getting sick. So please pray for her, keep her in your prayers. I do have hope and belief that Trump will be doing what he needs to do to get her out of there. I think he's just probably trying to give them an opportunity to let her be released. But again, these people are showing their true colors, and that's what Trump does. He brings people to the forefront, right? So just continue your prayers for Tina Peters, because I know she's having some challenges right now. So prayers up for Miss Tina Peters. God bless her. Here's one from Go North to Dakota Field. Does Field have any insight regarding the Epstein Island? Okay, well, before you answer that, Field, Go North to Dakota, can you be a little bit more specific in the comments, and then we'll go back to your question. So in the meantime, we will go to Cal. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hello today to you all. I have 2 questions. One, do you think we're going to see Julius Assange come forward pretty soon? And I've seen a lot of articles, and again, I don't know if it's true or not, but people have said that he's related to Trump. I wondered if you knew that. And my second question is, I have Donald Trump's coffee table books. I've got every one he put out. And in one of the books, he tells in there that he conversed a lot with President Nixon. Could you tell me if you know anything about him? I think they did him dirty as well. Thank you.
Okay, and the second question about Trump or about Nixon being done dirty, you're asking that of Field, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, they certainly were abusive to Nixon, and he paid a big price for their abuse. And before this show's over, because I'm really tempted to do it right now, but anyway, the answer to your question is I don't know if Julian Assange or whatever, I think I got that name right. I don't know if he's related to Trump, but I do know that there's a very interesting issue in Trump's existence, who he's related to. When Patrick Bouvier Kennedy was born, the second known son of John F. Kennedy, he was reportedly a victim that caused him to die, except for he didn't die. He basically was put in safekeeping in Benghazi, Libya. And that's sort of a sad reality when you have a presidential son that needs to get out of the protections that should be available in his birth country, the United States of America, and he needs to rely on I might get this name wrong, but I don't think so. The Kaluli, I think that's the name of the family
Yes.
that provided. Was that Jenny saying yes?
Did you say Kaluni or Kaluli? Kaluni.
Yeah, Kaluni.
Yes.
I don't know what I said, but that family protected Patrick Bouvier Kennedy. And for those people that are not familiar with Patrick Bouvier Kennedy, it's going to be much easier to get familiar because within the last couple of weeks, he's actually got a website now called patrickbouvierkennedy.com, I believe. But I'm not the most technical person out there. And I do have some people that are very, very good with tech that I can go to, any time of the day or night, and they're not offended if I need help trying to get my head around the Clooney, I hope I got that right, family. Abraham Lincoln was one. Donald Trump and Patrick Bouvier have some ties to that family. And Patrick Bouvier Kennedy is now publishing his real name on the real internet, and I'm very proud of him. And Patrick Bouvier Kennedy has been in my home in Plum City, Wisconsin on 3 different occasions. So to have somebody like that sharing time with me in my own home means a whole lot to me. And so thank you, Patrick Bouvier Kennedy. And I'm glad that it's getting more public about who you really are. And I'll leave it at that. Cal, did I answer either of your questions?
Well, yes, you did. You truly did. But I have to say, I'm so amazed with the amount of information that you have and what you've given to all us. And you brought a real joy in my heart today mentioning the med beds, because I've been waiting a long time for my daughter to get in one. And it sounds like it may be pretty soon. And I'm so thankful to hear that.
Well, let me make you more thankful. Uh, I don't want you to say what's wrong with your daughter, but whatever it is, a med bed can fix it, because a bed can restore your body to the way God intended it to function when you were born. And here's the really good part that you might not be aware of. Do you know that everybody that's going to be signing up for a med bed appointment, like me in the first wave, I will be able to gift 6 med bed appointments to people that are neither a veteran nor a young child. So what that means is a non-veteran adult. I can give away 6 appointments, and I'm speaking to Cal, aren't I?
Yes, you are. And oh my gosh, to hear that, my daughter is on seizure medicine like you can't even possibly imagine since she was 19 years old. And I think there's no way of taking her off it. The minute you start trying to even reduce the medicine, she goes into major seizures. I've taken her everywhere. She got something very wrong with her when she was 19. I kind of think it's now from all these vaccines, but she's starting to have her short-term memory go, because I think she's 52 now and she doesn't drive, nothing. Her whole life completely changed that day and when she was 19. But if somebody on here listening for you could put her name in there, oh my goodness, be such a blessing.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm going to ask Jenny if she can put you in touch with me without making my number public. But Jenny knows how to get a hold of me, and I know how to get a hold of Jenny. And I also know the first name that would come into my mind when I go to my redemption meeting, which will be in the next 10 to 15 days, I truly believe. Uh, I'd be willing to put your daughter's name and attach it to my invitation for a med bed. And I'd even step out of her way and let her go first.
Oh,
Uh,
no, 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 no. You would have to go first if you most deserving of it. But Jenny knows who my daughter is, and she could privately message her. You do know who she is, right, Jenny?
I think so. Yeah, just have her reach out to me, and remember, everybody's going to get these appointments too. So we've been told, right? So we are going to eventually have those. Who knows when? I don't know, but they will be hopefully coming soon.
Well,
they are coming soon.
I'm going to have
Excuse
Jenny
me.
my daughter reach out to Jenny, and then some way of contact or whatever, have her give her name, and hopefully, there's a lot of people sick in this country, and I'm sure they're on death's door and they need to go before my daughter is, but I'm just afraid she says she'd rather die than have her family deal with her with dementia. I think it's all the medicine she's on. So I hope she gets a chance before I die to get off it.
She will. And I think I'm going to be part of the reason she's going to get a med bed appointment. And I still would prefer to let her go first. And here's why. Ladies first. If there's a motto that goes with my name, I would like to be remembered as somebody that would give his life for a lady. And I didn't say woman, I didn't say adult female, I said a lady. And just because your daughter has seizures, that doesn't mean she should not be cared for with great dispatch. And, I'd like to be part of that process. And Jenny can probably put me in contact with you, Cal. And just to lift your spirits up even better, how many times have you heard me say, Cal, that I like Q&A because that's an opportunity where I can learn from the people in the chat room, and I have great respect for the people in the chat room. And here comes the punchline. When I think after a radio show, and I think this is the fourth one in a row where you've asked me a question. When I think of the questions that are forwarded to me by well-informed people with a great sense of, a great sense of wanting to perform public service, I think of you, Cal, and I'm glad your name is unusual. See, my name is unusual too. But you always stimulate me with your questions, and that's my opportunity to learn and then do some after podcast research to learn more about the subject matter of these very good questions. And so I'm going to say thank you, Cal, for being you. Let's work together, and we can work through Jenny's channel one way or the other. But if I get a med bed appointment, which I will, I can give 6 away, and I only know one person I want to give one away to at this point. But there's a lot of need for rapid recovery, and if nobody has seen the picture of the med bed hospital, that's quite modern and quite large, it's on the internet, and it shows interior of the med bed hospital, where it's very clean and sterile looking, but they've got many med beds visible in the pictures of the med bed hospital. Wherever it's located, I don't know, but it can be found out by somebody at this chat room. So I'll say thank you, Cal. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Jenny. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. All right, let's see who's next. And Cal, have your daughter or you reach out to me, and we'll figure this out, because yeah, the whole med bed question is coming to the surface. I am noticing a lot. Go ahead, Aaron. Your mic is unmuted.
Good afternoon, you all. God bless. And Cal, you're in our prayers, and your daughter. Field, a few weeks ago, I believe I saw that Obama was getting money through Serco, I believe the SERCO, one you say, through them for Obamacare, along with USAID payments. Do you know anything about that and the connections?
I've read the same thing, and therefore, since you and I are unknown to each other, basically, I believe that's true. But I'm going to make a very clear statement that cannot be misunderstood by anybody but a former president married to a male. I have a 1996 Cadillac hearse, and I've got Obama's real name on both sides, left and right, in the middle window of the hearse. And that's a subliminal message from Field Mcconnell to Barry Soetoro, Soetoro. He went to my high school, Punahou School in Honolulu, Hawaii, and the administration of Punahou School absolutely must know that Obama is Barry Soetoro, and they're going to run out of time and guinea pigs to fool. And they haven't fooled me since I read the name Barry Soetoro in the alumni magazine back around 2010. And it's my own sister. And I thought she had been executed, and maybe not, because she gave me, or she arranged for me to get a birthday card from her on October 2nd of this year. But, you know, she's a crafty criminal. And when I say criminals, I believe she has a rich history, along with Hillary Clinton, of trafficking children. And I believe she also, in her position at the U.S. Marshal Service or the Justice Department, where she was highly placed. I think she's the one that arranged for a entity that's made up fiction, and that fictional character is Barack Obama. Barack Obama does not exist. His fraudulent passport was created by my sister. And that's why I've consistently said my sister, which is my only sibling, by the way, she's guilty of treason for her shenanigans with Barry Spatero, calling him Obama, which he's not. So I'm sort of a clearinghouse for straightening out legal fictions, and Barack Obama is a legal fiction, and I think you're absolutely right. He has a financial relationship to Serco. Now, before anybody answers it, I'll just tell you that Serco is the majority stockholder in Serco is Prince William of England. He's a member of the disloyal family. Oh, wait a minute, I slipped. I mean the royal family. Well, they're not loyal to anything. They're not royal. That's certainly. I think they can be taken down very easily, but I'll just put that on the back burner until I get Keir Starmer out of the UK Prime Minister seat and put him where he belongs, which is long-term detention for covering up 500 child rapes by Jimmy Savile when he was the director of the Crown Prosecution Service. I think in honor of this dishonorable man, maybe they should change that to the Crown Lack of Prosecution Service, because he had the evidence of 500 child rapes, and he did nothing about it when he was the Crown prosecutor, and he claimed that they had inadequate evidence. To use Jenny's favorite term for adults, she often says that's bullshit. Well, I'd add it is bullshit. And you know what? If the United Kingdom government is bullshit and the United States government previously was bullshit, it's no wonder that Barack Obama, who doesn't exist, could have a financial stake in Serco. And Serco was involved in the MH370 fiction. There's a guy out there, and I forgot his name intentionally. I don't want to malign this moron, but he claims he was the first person to find out where MH370 crashed in the South Indian Ocean. The only problem with that theory and false statement is that MH370 never crashed, and Serco was a participant in the fiction of MH370. And I'll get into more details somewhere in this book called War Bride POW. War Bride alludes to my wife, Denise, who was a 49-year-old English citizen when God introduced me to her. And I could tell that very early in our relationship, I could tell that I'm, living on borrowed time in some ways. But actually, God's given me all the time I need, and God knows what skills I have, because God gave me those skills. Thank you, God. And I'm going to demonstrate one of the skills at the end of this show or podcast, because I'm going to say a prayer for Tina Peters. But I I sort of talked myself into a corner now, but have I answered your question to the lady who asked the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes,
Well,
Tina needs all our help.
yeah, well, I'm going to help her at the end of this podcast, unless Jenny says that we don't have enough time for that. But I'm very good at shortening my prayers. But for those people who think I drone on and on, just Google a term. Now I forgot the term. It's stream of consciousness. That when I go into these long-winded statements, that's really stream of consciousness, or some people would call it a literary form of word association. But thank you for thanking me, and thank Jenny for allowing me to, answer questions by wonderful citizens of the United States of America, and by extension, very good citizens of the global community. And we don't have to be globalists. We just need to bring our respect and our love to people around the world, saying, we love you too. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. Thank you, Aaron. All right, let's see. Who do we have next? Tina Elkins, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, honey?
Yes, ma'am.
First off, I'd like to thank you for the truth and thank Field for the truth. I have information on Tina Peters. I go to Gideon's Army's prayer chat every day of the week, and this morning I was in there. We've been praying for her from the beginning, and somebody wrote in the chat that she's been released.
Yay!
So we were all praising God. Thank
Oh
you,
my
Jesus.
gosh.
Hallelujah to the Lamb. And
Wow, thank you for that, Tina. I just got
oh
chills.
yeah,
That's amazing.
oh
She's a
yeah,
gold star mom. Like, bless her heart. Thank you for that.
so happy. And I also heard that Trump had just recently pardoned 100 people, so she must have been one of them. In my opinion, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying. I
Oh,
just
wow.
heard that also.
That is
And
amazing, everybody. You heard that almost in real time here. That's so exciting. Thank you.
yeah, and I have a couple questions for Field. Field knows I've been following him since Abel Danger years, and we all love Denise so much, and we miss her so much. I can still see her sitting in behind you, in the room in your office when you would be live with Mad Dog. And I'll tell you what, the last 10 years of my life has been so hard, but because of you and a few other truthers, but mainly you, it was like life was breathed right back into me. Like I was dead, and it's like I came alive through this truth. And I really don't think I would have made it through the last 10 years if I hadn't had all the truth that you have given us, and just the love of you and the love that you have for Jesus. That's one of the things that and truth has drawn me to you from the very beginning. And I want to thank you so much, Field, for that. Um, and I also want you to thank Heidi for me, because I know that she was also called to save you for us, because God knew that we needed you. And I'm just so thankful for you, Field. And do you still have that dog that you guys Heidi rescued?
No, the Heidi, I named the dog because I had it on my property, I think for a day, maybe not even that long. But I named that dog because I thought it was going to be my dog. And by the way, you made me cry when you said such nice things about me, especially the thing that wasn't about me when you said that you heard from Gideon's Army's chat room that Tina Peters had been released. And if there's 100 people pardoned by Trump, well, 100,000 probably could be pardoned by Trump if he knew their case. But I know you Tina, and now Jenny knows that I know you. And so, Jenny, could I please say a prayer of thanks right
Of
now for Tina
course.
Peters' release?
Of course.
Okay.
You don't have to
Yeah.
ask. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm a gentleman, and I will not, I will not take charge of a lady's program, and you're a lady, and I respect you, so you'll just have to let keep. Well, I'm just going to say I'm not going to change my treatment of a lady. I happen to love ladies. Denise was a lady. I've got a monument to her in my front yard, but that's 3 times I've said it, so that's my limit for this show. But I'm going to say a prayer right now. Dear Heavenly Father, dear Jesus, thank you so much for the hope that we have heard today that perhaps Tina Peters has been released, and apparently President Trump, and I would claim he's my president, not because I have a special relationship with him, but he knows my name. I've written 350, exactly 350 personal letters. And God, you've protected me from people who don't like whistleblowers, especially well-informed whistleblowers. And thanks to your benevolence, God, in the creation of my life. And I don't think I would want to be alive if I didn't have Jesus in my heart, because he helps me every single day. And that's why I'm praying now. I'm praying to thank Jenny, and praying that the Gideon's Army news is accurate. And if anybody touches a hair on the head of Tina Peters, I'll find out about it. And they won't like what happens next. And that might sound like a threat. It is a threat. This lady's been through enough, in my estimation, God, and she lost her son in what I would say it sounds like a murder when a paratrooper has a chute that doesn't open. And I think the cowards that have been running the deep state, and I've been resisting the deep state little by little, my exposure of these weasels has caused many of them to be removed. And whatever that means, it means whatever you think it means. And so, God, thank you for putting me in this position. Thank you for having me pay attention to Ephesians 5:11, which called me to expose evil. And also in Psalm 94:16, you asked the hypothetical question. This is you, God, talking from heaven, looking down at Sodom and Gomorrah. And you said to yourself, who on earth will take a stand against these evildoers? Who will represent me in this fight for good over evil? And I felt compelled, moved. I felt very strongly, whether I'm right or wrong, I felt very strongly on both occasions when you revealed yourself to me in scripture and you said you wanted somebody to take on evil in the name of God. Well, I'm probably one of many who are doing that, but I work for God. He has blessed me over and over. And he just blessed me with my 10th grandchild. And I'm very thankful for little Romeo, Romeo. He was born on October 31st of this past month. And, God has just blessed me so often and so profusely that I had to wonder why in the world God would be so kind to me. And all I've been able to figure out is maybe God likes it when I claim that I am exposing evil for the benefit of God and God's servants, of which I'm one. So rather than have a run-on prayer, I'll say that I pray this for Tina Peters and other victims unknown to me in the precious and innocent name of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Field. All right, we've got a few more questions here for you. All right, Mark Levy, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hi guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we
Yep.
can. And thank you, Tina Elkins, for that update. That was amazing news. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm in my car, so I didn't know if y'all could hear me okay. That's why I asked. I'm very excited about the Tina Peters, and I hope that's true. I wanted to run something past the two of you. I hope it makes everybody smile, because it's something I've been thinking about. Talking about these No Kings rallies that they had. I thought they were really stupid, and I didn't understand it. And I think the joke's on us, because a few weeks ago Trump went to England to meet with King Charles, who may or may not be alive. And what I believe he did was a transfer of power. And if that's true, that will end everything. That will end the royals. That will end the DC tyrannical government and everything else. And I wanted your opinion, because I think he is king temporarily until he just.
Go ahead, Field. I think that's a
Oh.
great analogy.
Well, you know what? I don't want to sound like a blowhard, but I've been predicting that. Yeah, the royals, first of all, they're fake royals. There's nothing royal about them. They're inbred. They have alternative lifestyles. And I guess if I wanted to inject a little humor, I'd say instead of saying no kings, maybe it's time to say no queens. And that brings me around to the United Kingdom Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. He's the queen. No offense to other queens. Yeah, anyway, I'm very happy to hear all this good news today. And I'm being blessed because it just so happens that hearing the good news about perhaps Trump taking over the United Kingdom, he said long ago, probably 6 months or more, and it's a verbatim quote, Donald John Trump said, I want to liberate the United Kingdom. And I think if what Mark Levy just told us is accurate, well, I think that is the process where the salvation of the United Kingdom starts to become evident. And I have I have two witnesses that have heard me say that I anticipate that Donald John Trump will free England from the slimy hands of Barack Obama and the slimy hands and the criminal hands of Serco. And Serco there's a YouTube that I'm not trying to promote anything except knowledge, but there's a YouTube that's out there that is called Serco, the biggest company you've never heard of. It's Serco's intention to control the world. And in order to control the world, Serco would have to control the U.S., and they tried, and they failed, and they'll never succeed. And I'm going to do my best in what I call literature to put into this book that I'm writing what Serco really is and all the crimes they've been involved in. And I think it's time for Serco to be cut up into little pieces and put into public ownership through legitimate business dealings. Well, enough about business. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a political person, but I do enjoy writing books. And this next book, War Bride POW, Denise is the War Bride, and POW is me, prisoner of Wisconsin, because the governor of Wisconsin and the governor of Florida colluded in elder abuse when they took me at age 70 in an illegal, whatever that policy is where you can transfer a prisoner, extradite. Yeah, that's it. They extradited me to Florida unlawfully. And there's a payback coming for, well, I don't know if the Ron DeSantis that appears at public gatherings, I don't know if that's the original Ron DeSantis or a replacement due to his death. We'll find out. But the governor of Wisconsin, who is very suspect in my mind, and see, I'm not like him. I didn't go to public schools. I went to Punahou and the Naval Academy. And that's by the grace of God. And so before I get into stream of consciousness, I'll just say that this show, Jenny, has been very encouraging for me, very, very encouraging for me. And quite frequently after a show, Tina Elkins, who you just heard from, she calls me or emails me, and we, chit chat back and forth. But your platform is drawing good people to do good things in the name of God, and they frequently mention Jesus Christ. So thank you, Tina, for your comments, and thank you, Jenny, for the wonderful guests that you attract, and thank you for allowing me to participate with you.
Of course. Thank you, Field. We appreciate you always being here. I know I do, as well as my listeners. And Mark, did that answer your question?
Yes, and just to put a bow on what I said as Trump being king, I see a couple of different scenarios. A, he just disbands the monarchy completely, which makes the most sense to me if he's able to do that. Or B, Princess Diana, who may be alive, becomes queen. Or C, Baron Trump is heir to the throne when Trump goes. So pretty interesting.
Thank you for that. That's great information because we've heard a lot of that, right? About him being king. So and that's why we're seeing a lot of this of him walking in front of the Queen and Charles. And yeah, we're soon going to find out, everybody. But again, let me tell you, there's so much positive happening that with all this negative being put out there, they're trying to bury all the positive. So hang on to the positive, everybody. We're moving in a great direction. All right, Phil, I've got 3 more questions for you. So Linda Hendrickson, go ahead. You're next. Go ahead, Linda. If not, we're going to go to Stargazer. All right, go ahead, Stargazer. Stargazer 2021, your mic is unmuted. All right, Linda, I see you unmuted your mic. Go ahead, everybody. All right, everybody, if I call on you, try to ask your question because we've got 10 more minutes. So go ahead, Linda.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. First, I want to thank Field for everything he does. He's amazing. Second, have you guys heard of the song Timber Going Down by the Kennedy Children?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And then my last thing is Sheila Holmes has a video out. Do you know who she is?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, she's got a video about all these presidents that weren't even eligible to be president. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that
I
video.
have not.
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. A lot, like the Bushes. I think
Yes.
both of the Bush, the dad, the senior, and Barbara were born in Germany.
I think a lot of these people were placed illegally, and that's what we're going to find out.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I think too. Okay, well, thank you. I'll let you get on to your next caller.
Thank you, Linda. All right,
Thank
Yep,
Stargazer.
have a great day.
Thank you. Go ahead, Field.
No, I wanted to thank Linda. So you've done it adequately.
All right, Stargazer, are you here? 2021. Go ahead. Go ahead, Stargazer. Your mic is unmuted. Otherwise, I have to go to the next question. All right, NC. Believe it's NC Aline. Aline, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hi, yes, I just wanted to say how I love listening to your program and everything, but I have a question. I've been trying to call Jenny on her website, but I couldn't get a hold of her. I'm getting these things saying med bed available. Get the med bed card. Send for it. It starts January of 26. Be ready for it. So that you're called. And then I just found another one today where it says that there is a hospital with the med beds in it. And the of course, it's all ready to go. And the military is the most important ones. They're going to go first. And so I was just wondering, is this I've never answered it because I'm so afraid to go into anything. Is it legit or not?
I say be careful because they're not released like that yet. So be careful. I think a lot of people are finding out about a lot of these things that we have been talking about for so long, and they're trying. It's a scam. So until you hear it
Okay.
from like the military or like a trusted source, i.e., Donald Trump, the military themselves come out. I mean, we're gonna know when we're supposed to know, but I would say be careful, very careful, because a lot of scams are going on out there right now.
Well, I've heard where President Trump has said something about the meds beds are coming, and that's why I thought that might be. But I'll be careful from now on. I never go on anything that I don't think is proper. So, Field, you're doing an awesome job. I love hearing you talk and everything. So, thank you, everybody.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you for your kind words. And I'm absolutely certain that's a scam when
Okay.
somebody's trying to take money for what the government's doing for free.
Oh, okay. Because they did say that there is something that if you send in, you can get it right away or whatever. So, I will be cautious.
Well,
Just be
if Jenny
careful.
were to answer it, go ahead, Jenny, you speak.
No, I was just saying, just be careful because again, this is why, I vet my stories when people say they have a story to come on and they want to put on the podcast. I vet them because believe it or not, people, I do get people that come up with some fake stories just to get on a podcast, right? So just be careful, everybody. The scams have been out there, but I think they're going to become more obvious than not. But until you've heard Donald Trump come out, and talk more intensely about it, hang tight, everybody, because there's a lot of misinformation going on around about these med beds.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Sadie Hebert, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sadie. You requested a mic. Okay, let me see if I have anything here on the wall field for you.
Okay.
All right. Any questions for you? Where'd they go? I think I had one. Oh, wow, they came in. Okay, let's see. Okay, back to Go North to Dakota. She asked, does Field have any insight regarding Epstein? And I asked her to elaborate a little bit more. So she wants to know, has Field ever seen any names on the Epstein Island flight logs? And has Field ever flown over or near the island?
Well, I'm sure I've flown over it just because I've flown so many years, 38 years, and 31 of those years I was flying for Northwest, which became Delta. And I've literally been around the world. And actually, now that I say that, when I was flying for Northwest Airlines for 29 years, I was simultaneously flying for the North Dakota Air National Guard. And right there is a blessing. It's an undeniable blessing that God kept me healthy enough that once I got accepted as an airline pilot, then my health was sustained because I was in the military part-time, and I was getting military medical exams once a year from the North Dakota Air National Guard and twice a year from the FAA approved AME, which stands for Aviation Medical Examiner or some such garbage. But I've been truly blessed, and that's why when these people say thank you for praying, well, it's my obligation to pray, because I pray thanks to Jesus Christ and God for the many, and I'm stopping short of saying manifold. It makes me sound like a college graduate. But I've been blessed many times over. And at both ends of the spectrum, the greatest blessings I've had was spending 5.5 years with Denise before she died of thyroid cancer. And recently, in fact, it's about 18 days ago, my 10th grandchild, whose name is Romeo, he was born. And I'll send you a picture of him if I remember, Jenny. But in the meantime, I just really enjoy your chat room and all the questions that we can try to answer. And we can answer a lot of them. And I'm looking forward to speaking with Tina Elkins. She almost always contacts me after a show to tell me what I did or what I could do better. And I appreciate her wisdom. So I'll say over to you, Jenny, if I answered anybody's question at all. I can't remember if I even had one. Go ahead.
You did great. You did great. And everybody, continue your prayers for Tina Peters. Prayer is always, it works, right? So continue that, and everybody stay out of the noise. Stay out of those noisy chats, comment boxes, whatever. Stay into the positive. There's more positive happening than bad. Field is here with us every week, same time, same place. Come back. We've got 3 more shows today here. We've got John Baxter's going to be coming on here at 2 p.m. Wait, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Warren from PPN will be coming on at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. These time zones, you guys just kill me. I hate it. And then Derek's going to come on at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we've got some great shows today, as well as Wednesday. We're going to have Jake Lang, the J6er. He's going to come on and talk about some the lawsuit he's got out there and what he's going to be doing in Dearborn, Michigan. We're going to have Dallas. We're going to have Silk and SG on, everybody. So we've got a lot of great stuff happening next week. I'm going to have Rob Cunningham come back on, hopefully Josh Reed, and then Rubber Duck, my great friend Rubber Duck. He is just a force to be reckoned with. He is amazing. He speaks on these spaces, but I'm going to get him on here a little bit more often on my show. He's got a lot of great insight. There are certain things he can and can't say, but he knows a lot of information. So with that, everybody, come back with us here later this afternoon here. I think within the next, Fields, John, 2 p.m. So in the next hour and a half, John will be on, guys. So if you have want to come listen to John and talk about some frequencies and some alternative healing, anti-aging med bed, let's do it. And Field, God bless you. Great show, everybody. Great questions. And get excited, everybody, because things are happening. So with that, everybody, God bless you, Field. Love you. And everybody here, thank you for once again joining in. And thank you for supporting and just being here, the Revival of America podcast. Because without your questions and without you guys, this really wouldn't be. It's all about you guys. And that's what I wanted to create the podcast for. All about your voices. And of course, one of the main reasons I did this is for the children, and we're going to get further into that down the road as this stuff with the children keep getting exposed. So with that, everybody, God bless you. We'll see you guys here in a little bit. And Field, again, love you. God bless you. And we'll talk to you soon.
God bless you, Jenny. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.